Well, aloha, everyone. This is your spiritual warrior goddess, Cathy Bilsky, on the Quantum Leap Let Light Unite show on UPRN Radio. And this is May 5th, 2017. Happy Cinco de Mayo Day for all of you out there. I have a special Mother's Day show planned tonight, and I've got two incredibly awesome women coming on. Kate Gruell and Jenn, oh my God, what's your last name, Jenn? It's not in here.
Jenn Zussman.
Thank you. See, it's live. Okay, live, guys. I think you have it all together, and it's like, oh, no, I don't. And we're going to talk about beauty tips and skincare and some really wonderful things. And before I bring them on and we talk about this, I wanted to share, because it's Mother's Day, a wonderful story. And I've decided I'm not going to talk about Trump or what they've done today because I don't want to be a downer. So the story I'm going to share with you is, I think, one of my funniest stories, and it's called Only a Man Would Attempt This. So I want you all to sit down, and I want you to close your eyes. And if you can, imagine this, okay? All right, so now a guy who purchased his lovely wife a pocket taser for their anniversary submitted this. Now, last weekend I saw something at Larry's Pistol and Pawn Shop that sparked my interest. The occasion was our 15th anniversary, and I was looking for a little something extra for my wife Julie. What I came across was a 100,000-volt pocket purse size taser. The effects of the taser was supposed to be short-lived with no long-term adverse effect on your assailant, allowing her adequate time to retreat to safety. Way too cool. Long story short, I bought the device and brought it home. I loaded 2 AAA batteries in the darn thing and pushed the button. Nothing. I was disappointed. I learned, however, that if I pushed the button and pressed it against a metal surface at the same time, I'd get the blue arc of electricity darting back and forth between the prongs. Awesome! Unfortunately, I have yet to explain to Julie what that burn spot is on the face of her microwave. Okay, so I was home alone with this new toy, thinking to myself that it couldn't be all that bad with only 2 AAA batteries, right? So there I sat in my recliner, my cat Gracie looking on intently, trusting little soul, while I was reading the directions and thinking that I really needed to try this out on a flesh and blood moving target. I must admit, I thought about zapping Gracie only for a fraction of a second, and thought better of it. She's such a sweet cat. But if I was going to give this thing to my wife to protect her against a mugger, I did want some assurance that it would work as advertised. Am I wrong? So there I sat in a pair of shorts. All right, this is what you got to imagine, okay? So there I sat in a pair of shorts and a tank top with my reading glasses perched delicately on the bridge of my nose, directions in one hand and the taser in another. Now the direction that a 1-second burst would shock and disorient your assailant. A 2-second burst was supposed to cause muscle spasm and a major loss of bodily control. A 3-second burst would purportedly make your assailant flop on the ground like a fish out of water. Any burst longer than 3 seconds would be wasting the batteries. All the while, I'm looking at this little device measuring about 5 inches long, less than 3/4 inch in circumference. Pretty cute, really, and, God, loaded with 2 itsy-bitsy AAA batteries, thinking to myself, no possible way. Now, what happened next is almost beyond description, but I'll do my best. So I'm Gracie looking on one side, to say, reasoning that a 1-second burst from such a tiny little thing couldn't hurt all that bad, I decided to give myself a 1-second burst just for the heck of it. I touched the prongs to my naked thigh, pushed the button, and holy mother of God, weapons of mass destruction. What the hell? I'm pretty sure Jesse Ventura ran in through the side door, picked me up in the recliner, then body slammed us both on carpet over and over and over again. I vaguely recall waking up on my side in the fetal position with tears in my eyes, body soaking wet, both nipples on fire, testicles nowhere to be found, with my left arm tucked under my body in the oddest position and tingling in my legs. The cat was making meowing sounds I had never heard before, clinging to a picture frame hanging above the fireplace, obviously in an attempt to avoid getting slammed by my body flopping all over the living room. Note, if you ever feel compelled to mug yourself with a taser, one note of caution. There is no such thing as a 1-second burst. Then when you zap yourself. You won't let go of that thing until it is dislodged from your hand by a violent thrashing about on the floor. A 3-second burst would be considered conservative. It hurt like hell. A minute or so later, I can't be sure, as time was a relative thing at that point, I collected my wits, what little I had left, sat up and surveyed the landscape. My bent reading glasses were on the mantel of the fireplace. The recliner was upside down and about 8 feet or so from where it originally was. My triceps, right thigh, and both nipples were still twitching. My face felt like it had been shot up with Novocaine, and my bottom lip weighed 88 pounds. I had no control over the drooling. Apparently, I pooped myself, but was too numb to know for sure, and my sense of smell, that was gone. I saw a faint smoke cloud above my head, which I believe came from my hair. I'm still looking for my nuts, and I'm offering a significant reward for their safe return. I'm sorry, I can't ever get through this without laughing. I almost made it. P.S. My wife can't stop laughing about my experience. Love the gift, now regularly threatens me with it. If you think education is difficult, try being stupid. Okay, that's my Mother's Day story. Oh, all right. Oh, come on, ladies. I just kind of heard you try not to laugh.
I'm laughing. I just don't know how we can follow that.
But that does get everybody's energy up, right? I mean, can you imagine your husband's doing that or something like that? I mean, come on. I know you can. Okay. Just wanted it on the radio. That's okay. All right. So yeah, this is the Mother's Day segment, and something incredible happened to me, and this is why I brought you guys on. And Jenn Zussman, oh my God, I feel so bad. I had all that written down on the other piece of paper. And Kate Gruell. I brought them on because I had an amazing experience myself. And I went to visit Kate and her family, and I saw her husband and her husband's face. And I went, oh my God, it was glowing. It was so clear. His skin was incredibly clear, and it looked, really, really healthy. And I just stepped back and I went, wow. And I mean, if you've seen the picture of Kate's face, it's incredible. It's flawless. It's just beautiful, what we all strive for. And they told me about some products that, Kate was using. And after I saw her husband's face, I just went, oh my God, I am so in. And it's been an amazing journey for me. And it's something that I've tried, and I would not have brought them on if I didn't think this is the most incredible stuff on the planet for either men or women to use. And, if you don't look good, sometimes that can be very depressing. You don't want to go out in public. You don't want to be social. And, it can change your life, when you're like that. And research finds that 8 in 10 women are dissatisfied with their reflection in the mirror. It's not surprising. The media images of women retouched to perfection create standards of beauty that are nearly impossible to attain. And, guys, no one's perfect. However, the one thing we can have some control over is our skin. And they say 20% is hereditary and 80% is what we can do with it. And I'm going on 64 this year, and I'm starting to get a few wrinkles that, I'm vain, okay? I will own it. I don't want to look 80 at 70. And I'm very careful and with what I do and being out in the sun. And if I can get rid of wrinkles and make myself look better and feel better, people tell me that I look 40 and that I don't apply for, or, that all those seniors discounts that I'm too young for, I'm in. So, again, I've asked these two incredible ladies to join me today to talk about the work they do selling skincare and why. Now, Kate Gruell is a hospitality executive, believe it or not, who did oversee about 80 luxury spas in her career. Now, that must have been really a tough job, Kate, right? Doing the spas?
Actually, it was probably one of the funnest and best jobs I've done over the years, having to do massages and have products as your day job was phenomenal.
I was being sarcastic.
I know.
And, she still has her executive job, but introduces skincare products to people in her spare time. And Jenn Zussman, a former marketing executive, now full-time skincare consultant, and both ladies partner to distribute North America's #1 skincare line, which is probably not the line any of you are thinking of unless you've been reading lots of beauty magazines recently. So first, you guys, how did you both know each other and become business partners?
Great. Well, I'll start. Thank you for having us. This is Jenn, and I'm excited to be on today. This is very fun. So how Kate and I met is through work, actually. We have children that are around the same age, and they went to the same daycare. And then, moms meet each other through the kids, and we quickly became very good friends. And when I was introduced to the skincare line a few years back, I actually saw her at work and just naturally fit into the conversation to let her know that I was loving my new skincare line and really just wanted to share it with Kate. And she gave it a try, believe it or not, and did not know how she would react. But luckily, she loved it, and now the rest is history. Here we are today.
Yeah, and then, from my side, thanks, Jenn, and again, Cathy, thanks for having us on the show. As you just mentioned, I've been really fortunate in my career to be exposed to lots of great skin lines. And so when Jenn sort of mentioned to me at work, she's like, are you interested? I'm looking at these products, and they're phenomenal. And I was like, sure. Why wouldn't I? And the products that Jenn was talking about actually came with a 60-day full refund, which guarantee, even if the bottles are empty, because that's how much the products that we use, the dermatologists stand behind. So I was like, well, of course, then there's nothing in it for me to lose. So, and then I was just, Cathy, as you even said, just blown away with seeing just such a difference from the product that Jenn had introduced me to versus other ones. And, as Jenn said, it actually took me, and I think I used Jenn maybe over a year, and before Jenn came back and said to me, Kate, why don't you do this with me? Because, your skin's looking different and people are commenting, and every time you keep telling them, go talk to Jenn, thank you, I'm making some nice money off you. So I was like, damn, maybe I should be thinking about doing this with Jenn. So that's the story, and we've been doing it ever since.
Well, Kate, can you share some tips on things people should do for naturally beautiful skin?
Yeah, of course. I think everyone knows this instinctively, but unfortunately sometimes we don't like to be reminded of it because oftentimes the stuff that makes us healthy is not necessarily the fun things. But one thing is always to make sure we're taking our makeup off before bed. I know that sounds like, yes, it makes sense. But, you go out, we're having fun, and sometimes it's like, I just can't be bothered to do it. But you know what? Your skin really needs to breathe, and makeup prevents that. If you leave it on overnight, it clogs the pores. It causes blemishes and blackouts. So, ladies, it's essential that we have to do that step. It just takes a second, so please do that. We also know one of the other ones I would talk about, and that is how important sunscreen is. And depending where you are in the world, it's just important anywhere, even actually in cold climates, because you don't the clouds and you don't think the sun's out, but that's when the damage really gets done. So minimally, and that's a product with an SPF of at least, they say 15. Jen and I will always say 30 plus, and it needs to block both UVA and UVB rays, because I'm sorry, but it's the sun that causes those wrinkles and age spots and all the skin problems. And what we all do is we're all like, we wash our face with water and stick on some moisturizer, and we only start using really great products when we see, oh no, I've got wrinkles and damage. And then it becomes much harder to keep that youthful look. So the sunscreen is essential. Again, the next one I would say is, we are what we eat. Again, we all know that, the vegetables, the fruit, making sure you get sufficient proteins and, your vitamins, a diet rich in vitamin C. These all a part of having, promote radiant skin. So essential, we're watching what we eat. Sweat it out, the exercise, again, not what we always want to do, but this is what gives your body the necessary blood circulation and also accelerates the cleansing process of your entire body. The next one I would say is, of course, the sleep. For everything that we do, sleep is essential, and I know everybody's busy and you have young kids or you have busy jobs or you go out and you have fun, and we don't want to take that away, but you know what? Getting enough shut-eye for everybody. Your skin gets tired just like you do, and it sags and you get bags. So the sleep, people, it's critically important. And then sort of the last one I would mention is water, H2O. It's drink lots and lots of water daily, at least eight glasses, if not more. That's what really helps prevent the eye puffiness that we all have in the morning. And it just naturally hydrates the skin. And if you're one of those people that likes to spritz during the day, that's really helpful as well. So there are a couple of the key ones, Cathy, that I would mention.
Those sound really easy to do, really.
They sound easy, but it's just getting into the habit, I think.
Jenn, can you share some tips on things people should not be doing? And this is not a test, okay?
Sure. I would be happy to. So these are all probably the complete opposite of the points that Kate went through, but let's go through them. The first one, I was 100% guilty of this, but have managed to change this habit, which is if you have acne, do not pop your pimples. So I know it's very tempting to do that, but as we know, it leads to more swelling, more redness, and then the worst is the scarring afterwards. So instead of popping the pimple, really try not to do that. What I would recommend is actually rose water, and you can place a chilled green tea bag on the blemish for about 10 minutes instead. That will help really minimize the breakout.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What happens if you put hot water on it? Makes it worse?
You know what? I've not done hot water. I know that seems like the right thing to do, but everything that I've read and tried personally, the cold compress is actually better for it.
Okay. All right, what's next?
Yeah, so the next one would be not to neglect yourself, obviously. I think in this day and age, as Kate said, we are super, super busy, but at the end of the day, any healthy habits you have, they lead to less stress, and then your skin is going to react better, so you'll have less breakouts. And then one thing we all really enjoy is meditation. So if you have time to really just have a bit of a still moment and meditate, you will then radiate, really just be more calm, and they will reflect that. And this is one thing, Cathy, you mentioned, is seeing the signs of aging and how we really have control over 80% of our skin and its destiny. And so one thing, a big mistake people make is to start considering really great skincare once they start to see the first signs of aging. But really, it's when you're young. I mean, when you're in your 20s that you should begin to invest in great skincare, because as we all know, it's much easier to maintain your skin versus waiting until it's too late. So I would 100% say, and something that I've done is replaced expensive makeup where you cover up your skin with really great skincare, so you can show off your natural skin without having to wear a ton of makeup and foundation. Last thing I would say is your eyes, not to forget about your eyes. And it's the one thing people say when they look at you, it's what they first gaze at. And how many times have people said, gosh, you look really tired today? And you're like, really? So I love a good eye cream. So the eye cream is essential to getting rid of puffiness and dark marks and just wrinkles. And so they say starting at age 16, you should be using an eye cream, morning and night. So I would say if there's any item you're going to start with to really start taking care of your skin, I personally would say an eye cream is one of the top.
And staying out of the sun.
Oh, yes, for sure.
That's sad. I'm a Leo. God, I'm a sun baby. I used to be a sun baby. Yeah, and then again, when you start out young, which is awesome, and really take care of it. I hate to say it, but when people my age start this incredible skin line, you really see dramatic results then, One day when I have the courage, I will send to Kate, my before and after pictures. It's just that my before pictures are like, oh my God, this is like, oh crap, really? I look like that? And, now it's like, la. But, like the before it's almost embarrassing. Anyway, so Kate, busy executive, 2 young children, and why was it important to you to spend your spare time introducing people to proper skincare?
Great question, actually, Cathy. And I ask myself the same question many times, and people think I'm crazy. But, I think it comes back to everything that you mentioned about this show and why you asked us to come on, because really what I do is helping to build and support people's self-esteem. I spend my day at work. What's so important to me is helping people to grow in their careers, men and women. And everyone asks me a lot, what makes the difference of somebody that gets to exec level and all these different questions. And the one big thing that's universally across there is actually confidence. And, having spent so much time helping people, that's why I think this comes into, the skincare comes so much into that, because the more that we have, we feel better about ourselves on the outside, it just builds our self-esteem and confidence in the inside. So I think that's sort of why I started being so drawn to this, was because the products are so amazing, and that people just don't realize the importance. And sometimes people just accept the conditions they have with their skin, whether it's breakouts or rosacea or all the different wrinkles, all the different things. So to be able to help people, and I can tell you many stories of when I've actually seen or been in conferences, I'm sure Jenn has too, that people actually start crying when they talk about their story and how it's made such a difference to them. And then, obviously, jokes aside, we get paid for this. So listen, to get paid for having great skin, I mean, it sounds a phenomenal and awesome combination to me.
Well, all I can do is share with you my own experience. And 1 week after using this, and I was in Washington, D.C., and I met this woman, and we were actually having lunch. And the minute she saw me, and I sat down, and she looked at me, and she goes, "Oh my God, Hawaii is really doing your skin well." And she's got really bad skin. And she goes, "I don't know what you're doing, but living in Hawaii, it's like, wow." And I just looked and I said, well, yeah. And this incredible skin product that I've started using, it's upgrading. And then I took my grandson to one of the museums, another week later. So this is 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. And he's 6 years old. I'm 64, guys, okay? And I will own I don't look it, and this is kind of why. And they thought he was my son. And I went, oh, this is And then again, when I got back to Hawaii, and again, I'm in for the senior discounts. If you live to be senior, you definitely earn the discounts, right? And I asked this one lady, I go, well, senior discount. And she looked at me and she goes, no, you're not. And I go, senior discount. She goes, no, you're not. And I had to show her my ID. And she was younger than me and looked like in her 70s. And it's like that all the time. I'm always getting complimented on my skin. Or I like the person, because I do own a store in Hawaii, and I've been out here for 12 years, been in business for over 30. But when somebody comes in who hasn't seen me for 8 years and says, wow, you look younger than you did when I first saw you. That is amazing. Okay, your turn.
I love it.
Okay, Jenn. Now, I understand you left your FT exec job to do this, and you also have 2 young children. So tell us your story. How about you got into this?
I know it's still crazy to hear you even say it out loud. But yes, I did have a very successful career, in corporate America. I always tell people on paper my life looked absolutely perfect. I had this great job. I had the 2 young children. I have a wonderful husband. And at the end of the day, I was really, just very unsatisfied with where my life was going. I felt like I was never seeing my kids and didn't really know what plan B was going to be. This is so I'm a bring people into your life at certain times. And so about 2 years ago, I was on a vacation with my mom. So Cathy, you saying you don't look your age, my mom also looks very young for her age. And we were on a cruise ship together. And everyone is approaching us saying how adorable my sister and I are. And I looked at my mom, who was 65 at the time, and I was 35, and I said to her, do I really look closer to your age? I mean, be honest with me. And she said, well, you should probably wash your face, which I was not doing at the time. And she said, Jenn, to be honest with you, you have 2 very young kids, and you're working crazy hours, like it's aging you. And I said, okay, what do I wash my face with? And she did not have any recommendations and said, when you get home, why don't you call your girlfriends up and find out? And so the crazy part was, on that flight back from that vacation, I ended up sitting next to this amazing woman on the airplane. And I remember looking at her skin, and she looked absolutely beautiful. And I asked her what she did for a living, and she said she was about to retire from her pharmacy career at the age of 39 because she sold this amazing skincare line on the side. And I was completely in awe of her story. And I thought to myself, I know I need the skincare, because if it worked on her like that, I want to see what results I get. And I jumped on board, and I really just started doing the business very part-time hours, sharing, just like I shared with Kate. Anyone I saw, I would let them know what I was up to. And honestly, people started coming up to me and saying, just like with you, they were saying, what are you doing? Your skin looks great. And I was getting the best skin of my life. And that's what I started doing, simply washing my face, telling people how happy I was, how confident I finally felt. And only about, 2 years into it, I was able to make the decision to walk away from my corporate job and really just focus on this full time. And it's just really been a huge, huge blessing for my family and I. So I'm feel very blessed to be here today and to share my story with you all.
Oh, it's great. I also have to say, ladies, that the gossip in town that's going around about me, which I know they go, everybody's talking about that you look younger. Yeah, it's good gossip. Go, guys. Okay, yeah, positive. How awesome.
That's amazing.
All right, so what's the difference about the products you sell versus all the hundreds of other products out there, other than yours works incredibly well?
Yes. So we get asked that all the time, and I love this question. And I am completely transparent with the fact that before I started using the skincare line, I did not know anything about skincare. And so in my time, as a consultant and doing this, I realized that what I've learned is that the Food and Drug Administration, so the FDA, does not actually regulate skincare. So what that means is any skincare product out there can make a claim without having to prove those results. And so how our skin line is different is that every product that we have has been tested through an independent clinical trial, and it's proven to be not only safe, but also effective. And so I know that sounds really simple, but I believe that our products are so successful because, in layman's terms, they actually work. Meaning, if it says it's going to do something, it will do it. And people love the results. 97% love them. Not only that, they'll tell their friends about it because they're so thrilled with the fact that they're finally using a product that is not going to be just another product graveyard where they simply try it and then they don't use it again because it didn't actually deliver. And our products do.
Well, I know it works so well. It's like your face becomes, you're a walking billboard. And,
Exactly.
it just sells itself because it works. It's amazing. Kate, you're relatively new to the business. So can you share some stories where you've seen people with better skin have improved their self-esteem? And remember, this is also for guys, it's just not for women. I know this is Mother's Day, but, for you guys out there that are having skin issues and, which creates maybe a low self-esteem, you need to pay attention.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you should actually say that. I was just thinking when Jen was talking about that, Cathy, because outside of the fact we've just heard your story, mine and Jen, that all seem to have helped our self-esteem. I was actually thinking about my husband you mentioned at the beginning of the call. He's very anti putting anything on his face, hates the feel of moisturizer. Of course, when I started this business, I made him. I'm like, you have to support it regardless of whether you like it or not. And then when people were telling him his skin looks better, he thought I was actually going around telling people to tell him that. So
yes,
it's funny you just said it.
He said that to me. He goes, did Kate tell you to say that? And it's like, no.
Yeah. So I think, and we have another lady on our team that was also sharing a very similar story about her husband too. So it's, no, without a doubt, men are more, I think, cautious about or don't fess up to using skincare as much as women, but the success, I think, is sometimes even more obvious because they don't wear makeup. But yeah, I have, going back to a sort of question that you asked, if I remember, it's about where I've seen skin improve self-esteem. It's interesting because being relatively new to this, and I want to say I've used the product for well over a year or so, but actually joined Jenn around Christmas time of this year. And I, of course, went to training because the company that we do has great and phenomenal training. And a great system to support that. But in the training session that I went to this day, I'll probably remember it forever because it was actually this lady that they were asking us to share stories or how do you talk about, the different products. And one of the products is obviously for acne. And, I think everyone thinks about it being more of a teenager problem, but it can actually happen to adults too. But this one lady stood up and she actually started crying and said that her whole life that she had suffered from cystic acne and scarring, and she would never go out the house. And so she was standing in this room and she had her hair tied back, her skin looked flawless, and she said that that had just absolutely changed her life. But she was, and I'm not kidding when I said that she was crying, and I will never forget that to this day, because to me, I was like, okay, you get nicer skin, and you shared some stories yourself about how it made you feel good with these comments. But, I mean, this is the extreme of the fact that there are people out there that do not go out or layer themselves in makeup because they don't want to be seen by other people, and sometimes even their husbands or spouses without it. So I think that's like huge. And there was actually another person that was there that was going through a divorce, and they were feeling really good about themselves. They hadn't been feeling good about themselves because they, were going through the divorce and all the uglies that come with that. But actually, I know she was trying to make us laugh, but was being sincere, said that she'd always, had Botox and injectables to make herself feel better, and using the right products had actually prevented her and made that unnecessary. So I could keep going, and I know Jenn has a lot of stories too, but we come across this every day, where these stories that you hear are really, really life-changing. And going back to everything we're talking about of the confidence and self-esteem this can do for people.
Well, Jenn, you've been in this a longer, and the premier skincare lines, they're pretty expensive, and I have to say it kind of made me suck breath. But what do you say to people to justify spending that amount of money? And truthfully, is it worth it? And I'll hold my opinion. I'll get your opinion first.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really like this question, and everything that Kate was just saying, I can relate to that. So just to get a little, more personal here, I suffered from terrible cystic acne my entire life, from the time I was a teenager up until I was probably in my 30s. I was one of those people where I would get the stares and I'm so sorry, my skin was that bad. And I remember thinking, if I had clear skin, I would be so much happier. And I was actually one of those people, it's very hard to admit, but my husband, when we were just dating, he had never seen my actual skin without makeup on because I was too embarrassed to show it to him. And so, at the age of 38, my birthday was yesterday, and so at 38 years old, I just went out today with friends and did not have to wear a stitch of makeup on my face. So the way I see it is you either invest in really great skincare like this is, or wonderful makeup. So I used to spend on makeup. I used to go to, the high-end department stores and get the best foundation and the best concealer, and not only spend a ton of money on that just because I needed something that really covered up all of my acne scars, but I spent about 20 minutes or more just literally covering up my skin in the mirror. And so now when I leave my house, I really can walk outside without any makeup on whatsoever and show off my actual skin. And that feels amazing at the age of 38, that I can simply show off my actual skin without feeling like I'm covering it up with a cake load of makeup. And what I always think about, Cathy, is how much do we spend on other luxuries, to pamper ourselves? Like, women spend money on their haircuts and to get color and highlights in their nails, facials, handbags. And, what I've realized is what people notice first is your face and your skin. And, if I'm going to invest in something, I would much rather invest in looking my best and having my skin be healthy versus, spending something on that money that doesn't necessarily matter. So it's a matter of just shifting where I spend my money, and I have not regretted it for a moment, is in investing in the skincare line.
Well, being really new, and I've asked Kate a few times how long does a kit would last, and the 13th of May, I'll be starting my 4th month. So to me, what I'm finding is the longer you use it, the more you use it, the less of the product you really need to work, if that makes sense. Agree. I don't need a big blob. Just a little, a little dab will do ya, and it's just, it's perfect. So to me, the cost, it's very cost efficient, because when I divide it into 4, it's like, oh my God, this is nothing. And like you said, what you spend on the other creams and makeup, oh my God, it's just so worth it. And also, I feel better, and I feel, and I'm, all right, believe it or not, guys, I would call myself an introvert, but not as much anymore. And I notice, like even more men looking at me, not because I'm dressed weird that day or anything, because you feel good and you just put out that energy.
Yeah, I love that.
And, it's an incredible way I see it, like what you guys are doing now. You are actually able to give up your job, your full-time executive job, and to be able to do something like this, to earn a living and make people happy and be able to spend time with your family.
It is nice. It's nice to have choices again versus really being told what to do, when to do it. Life is so fleeting, and my children are growing up so fast, and I just realized that my life was meant to do more than my corporate job, and this is completely my passion, and I love it, and I'm just incredibly thankful that you're having us on today. I simply love sharing it. I do feel like the skincare line is a gift, and I love telling others about it. So thank you again.
Oh, thank you guys for coming on, because that's how I feel, that it's actually a gift. And like I said, I'm 64, and when I can see incredible results in my face and get up in the morning and look in the mirror and not go, oh, crap, God, let's dim the lights a little bit more, right? And I get up and I look and I go, oh, all right, we're doing okay. We're looking good. That didn't sound too humble, did it?
Yeah.
But, and after you see my before and after pictures, But it is, I would wake up and I would see the wrinkles, I would see the dark circles under my eyes, the puffy eyes, and you just go, oh God, I've got to make it through today. Oh, yay. And then you apply all the makeup and crap, and now it's like you, Jenn. Although at my age I might put on a little bit of makeup, but nothing like I used to. A little bit of blush and I'm out the door. It's awesome. So it really sounds like you guys have got a really nice business going on. And is this something anyone can do?
You know what, Cathy? I would say absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of skincare lines out there. Majority of skincare lines are through the bricks and mortar stores. You go in and people go. I think the big difference of the one that Jenn and I do is the difference of that you actually want to buy products from people you trust. And I'm not sure if it was Jenn or yourself said earlier, you look at people or your friend and say, hey, you look good. What are you using? So the company that, skincare line that Jenn and I are part of, obviously, is not in the stores. So I can only speak when you ask if this is something everybody can do. I mean, everybody can share great stories and share what products they're using and their secrets. I think we're terrible at just keeping things to ourselves. So, of course, everyone should share. Jenn shared some personal stories. So the more we talk about things with others, I think the better. The product line that Jenn and I are part of, as we said at the beginning, is the #1 North America skincare line, and that is obviously for a reason. When it relates to the business on this one, the difference is that we're not in stores, and hopefully actually maybe let Jenn talk a little bit more about that. But it's and we're not. If you came to my house, I haven't got thousands of dollars worth of product either. The great thing about it is it's online ordering, but it's really about talking to people, getting out there, making connections, and helping people feel better. So, as you said, if you authentically have tried the products or used the product or hear us and you're like, it really makes a difference, it becomes really easy to talk to people about it. You're not really pushing sales. You're just talking about something that has made a big difference to you. So I would say without a doubt, anyone can do it. So, Jenn, I'm not sure if you want to add or have some thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think, if you hear Kate's story, I mean, her life is very, very busy. Her job is very demanding. And, I think when the company shifted to be more of an e-commerce model, meaning that it's not available in an actual store, you have to work directly with a consultant. They did that in a way that allowed very busy people like Kate to do this, where everything is done through our phones. And I think, I can say at least myself, I always have my phone on me. It's my lifeline. And that's when people say, oh, Jenn, where do you work? I literally show them my phone and I say, wherever my phone is. And that's something that is very attractive to people, looking to make an additional income stream without having to be tied to another job, forcing, to work several hours. I mean, this is simply just very easily woven into a busy schedule. So it's something that I personally really enjoyed about the company, especially when I first started, when I still was working full-time, and I had very young children at the time, and I was able to build this. I always tell my husband I built this while the kids were sleeping, because I really just focused on it at night when I was already talking to my friends anyway, and then just sharing something new that I found and wanted them to hear about it.
It really is amazing. And like I said, the proof is what your face looks like, and anybody that uses it, what their face looks like. So if people want more information on this product, how do they get a hold of you? Kate?
Obviously, Jenn and I aren't here to promote our business, so maybe it sounded like it for the last half hour. We're here to help everyone for feeling good, self-esteem Mother's Day. But Cathy, I'm not sure if you have a website or there's information, but you're very welcome to share Jenn and I's email accounts or our website. We would love and happy to talk to anyone that wants to know more about the products or their skincare issues, or even learn more about the business. So please feel free to share that with your listeners. Jenn and I are here to help everybody, and I think that's what we said throughout the call. So if we can make a difference to other people, then that would be awesome for us.
So if people want to find you, they just they can go through Yahoo at kdeeson, that's KDEESON at yahoo.com. And oh, don't go break down on me now. I'm going to say, I know everybody wants to know what the name of the product is, and because I use it, it's Rodan and Fields, all right, RODAN and Fields. It's amazing. Like I said, at 64, I consider it a gift because I was just given a skin upgrade. And, you know, I know they say that 60 is the new 40, but when you look 40 and you're over 60, that rocks. So, ladies, if I could real quick, I wanted to share with everybody, you know, we talked about skin and, you know, how important it is. And I just wanted to touch base just real quick on hair. And many, many people are losing their hair because of the cell phones, stress, high radiation in the air. And or you go to your hairdresser and maybe, you know, she burned your hair a little bit too much and you start losing your hair, or your hair can't take the chemicals anymore. So if you really want to start thickening your hair, getting your hair to grow again, start taking Knox gelatin. And it's really simple. I mix it with juice. And, you know, you put it in the refrigerator. It's just like Jell-O. I cut it up in cubes, and I eat a couple cubes a day, and your hair gets thicker, and it really starts growing again. Angel Light powder, or you take a rough piece of Angel Light, which is a mineral. If your hair stops growing, you're missing a mineral. And you start ingesting Angel Light. That will also help your hair grow and get thicker. And if you want highlights in your hair, guys, all you have to do is go out in the sun with a bottle of lemon juice and just dump that on your head, and you will get natural highlights. Sorry, all those people out there that are actually hairdressers, but you know, it works. Kate and Jenn, thank you guys so much for coming on today. And
well, thank you for having us. It's been fun. It's been really fun. Thanks, Cathy.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been awesome. And for those people that really, if you want more information, then go ahead and contact me through my Facebook page at Cathy Bilsky, or Google Plus, or LinkedIn. I'm even a Twitty right now. You can find me on Twitter. And I can give you how to contact the ladies, and they can give you more information on how to get it, and you know, how you can really upgrade your own self and your own skin and your life, which I think is amazing. So I really feel blessed that I really did get to meet you, Kate, and that you turned me on to this product. And I have to say, you know, the husband did it, because you always look good, but when you see the guys look so good, you know, it makes you step back and go, oh, wow. Are you still there?
Yeah, actually, I thought we were finishing laughing at your story.
I'm staring at my husband because he uses it.
But it's true. And, you know, I bet you they get comments all the time. And, you know, they just blow them off, like you said, you know, about your husband, Kate. But like I said, you know, he even had a glow to it, which was very amazing. So I am so happy that I was turned on to it. It really has changed my life even more. And thank God, because, with what I do in my life, I really need to be more outgoing. And so I'm even more so. So thank you guys. And again, if anybody wants to know information, just, contact me on my Facebook page, Cathy Bilsky, and I will guide you over to Kate and Jenn. And, they can turn you on to something incredible that could very well change your life.
Okay. Perfect.
So,
well, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
You too. Thank you so much.
So, guys,
Okay.
we're coming out of Mercury in retrograde. Have a wonderful week. Aloha.